This is Radar for On the Radar Entertainment Blog, coming to you with the Week 8 of the 2021 MLB season observations and notes. So the Orioles decided that Freddie Galvis, even though he's not a power hitter, he should bat fifth. And now that Anthony Santander is back, they think he should be cleaning up and Trey Mancini should bat second. No. The whole point of having Mancini back and Santander now back at the same time is you go Santander 3 because he's more of a contact hitter, and you got a Trey Mancini to bat cleanup because he's leading the league in RBIs. It's a perfect combination. And a guy like Galvis, if you don't want to bat him 8th or 9th, you bat him 1 or 2. And I don't want to see DJ Stewart in right field still because he's really basically a left fielder, and Stevie Wilkerson is an infielder, so I don't want to see him in the outfield. They got enough guys like Austin Hayes they can play there. And stop wasting your time at Pedro Severino, especially in the middle of the lineup. The Nationals. Don't want to see Juan Soto second, don't want to see John Cashel fourth, and don't want to see Josh Harrison sixth or playing center field. The point of having Soto is now he has protection with Schwarber and Bell and Castro further down the lineup, and Harrison and Turner should be table setting at the top. Nor should Harrison be playing center field when you got Andrew Stevenson and that Hernandez guy. Okay? Then the Red Sox, Michael Chavis playing second base is definitely a stretch. And I also don't want to see Rafael Devers bat second, Christian Vasquez bat cleanup, or seeing the likes of Bobby Dell back and Hunter Renfroe bat 8th or 9th. Like, one day they batted Dell back 6th, I was like, great. And one day they batted, Renfroe higher, but that was because Devers was batting second, and that's just stupid. Keep Devers 5th, Renfroe 6th, Bobby Dell back 7th. Catcher and Francisco Cordero last, whoever's playing the outfield. I'm glad that they have Danny Santana because that just means they got another speedy guy to play center fielder by the top of the lineup. Phillies, I saw Velasquez and Chase Anderson, in the bullpen. I'm glad that Velasquez is back in the rotation because that's the best thing for him is that he's actually really a starter. Don't want to see Dubarrera bat everywhere. 4th, 5th, 6th, 2nd. Just bat him lead off. If Bryce Harper's on the DL, you need to move Andrew McCutchen out of the leadoff spot so you have some more offense. Don't want to see Ronald Torres in center field when they got enough guys who can do that. And I don't want to see Gene Segura batting 3rd. Keep him 2nd. With the White Sox, batting Leury Garcia 6th is a waste. Batting Matty Eden's a waste. And Andrew Vaughn in right field is a stretch. So is Jake Lamb. Mendick is also a stretch. It's one thing to see Mendick in left field or Jake Lamb in left field or Vaughn in left field because you're desperate. But then playing right field is just a little bit too much of a stretch, especially when you have Adam Eden. And you can call somebody else up to play right field if you really need to. And I don't see Jake Lamb batting second. He's a power guy. Stop wasting his time there. Yankees. I keep telling you, DJ LeMahieu's not a leadoff hitter, nor is he a first baseman. Stop doing that. Voit is not a number 2 hitter. Urshela is not a cleanup hitter. And especially don't have Voit leading off. That's just a waste of your time. And Tyler Wade, I know he's a utility player, but center field, come on. You got enough guys who can do that on your roster. And I don't want to see Gleyber Torres or Ruben Odor bat second. That's where DJ LeMahieu should be. Speaking of the Twins and batting people at second, that's wrong. Donaldson should be batting 3rd, especially when you're missing Buxton and other players on your lineup. Kyle Garlick playing left field with a stretch to begin with. Right field's even more. He is not a leadoff hitter. I don't want to see Alex Killaroff play first base when you have Miguel Sano and Wellens Astadulo, and Killaroff is an outfielder. Just play him in the outfield. And Rob Repsteiner, I don't want him in center field, even though he's a super utility guy, because I'd rather say to rookies like Killaroff or the Lauren Grenache guy, you play center field or Max Kepler. Max Kepler, speaking of him, he should not be batting leadoff. Then, when it comes to Indians, Cesar Hernandez is not a leadoff hitter. Never should see Eddie Rosario batting second because he's a power guy. Don't want to see Harold Mears 4th or 5th or Jordan Luplow. Those guys are not everyday players at this point in their careers. They're just fighting to play. They're definitely not power guys. And Chang should not be batting 60 as a utility guy, nor is he a first baseman. I'm just tired of seeing guys like Ramirez or Luplow bat ahead of, like, Bowers and batting ahead of Naylor. That's just stupid. The Mets, with all the injuries piling up to Conforto and McNeil and all their center fielders, and especially Pete Alonso, I should not be seeing Lindor batting 2 in the lineup or something. He should be batting 3rd because that's what he was doing in Cleveland a lot of times. Nor should I see Cameron Maybin clean up, or should I see Bill McKinney bat 3rd or 4th? Like, you got McKinney and Maybin because of all the outfield injuries. Put him at the bottom of the lineup, or even put maybe Cameron Maybin at the top. And I don't want to see Brandon Drury in right field. Left field's okay, but I'd rather have Peraza, who spent 2 years plus playing it, or Jonathan VR, who has experience. But now they got Billy McKinney and you got Cameron Maybin. You got enough options in the outfield. I shouldn't see that. And maybe if you put Dominic Smith at first base, I would be okay with that. But they're still playing him in left field, which is, again, stupid when there's no Pete Alonso. Then McCann is batting third. I'm glad they're giving the confidence they want to bat him third, but first base is a stretch. That's where you put your backup at first base. But I'm just happy that Brandon Drury's on the roster. Marlins opener, I don't know why they don't have enough starters. I do like the Jazz, Chisholm, and Miguel Rojas 1 and 2. I don't want Aguilar second. Keep how you have Rojas and Jazz at the top. Don't want to see Duvall in center field with Cooper in right field. That's just a bad outfield. And then Jorge Flowers, your everyday catcher. I don't want to see him in left field. Brewers. Lorenzo Cain was leading off a couple times. Keep him there. He's on number 2 hitter. Omar Narvaez, not a number 2 hitter, not a power cleanup guy. Colton Wong leading off is okay, but just keep Lorenzo Cain there. JBJ in right field's kind of a stretch. He's a Gold Glove center fielder, maybe left field, and you move Yelich back to right field. And then Lindblom out of the bullpen, you paid all that money for him. Well, he's DFA'd now, so I don't have to worry about that. Tyrone Taylor's a number 3 hitter, not Vogelback is definitely not a number 2 hitter, he's a slugger. And Manny Piña's like a 4th catcher. I don't want to bat in cleanup. Reds. Jesse Winker, Nicky Castellanos is a 1-2 with Tyler Stevenson, your backup catcher, and Naquin, 3rd, 4th. Oh, that's horrible. So while Reds leading off, it's even horrible. Without Joey Votto, and even Moustakas, he's your power guy. He should not be batting leadoff. And we know that Kyle Farmer is not a shortstop. Pirates. Why is Reynolds still playing center field if you have Ben Gamel on the roster? That just makes sense. Eric Gonzalez, why is he playing first base when he's an infielder? You got enough guys to do that. Difo. Wilmer Difo was pitching. That's a waste. They're playing also him. That's a waste. He's not an everyday player. We've been over this. Jacob Stallings and Eric Gonzalez are not middle of the order hitter. And stop moving Adam Frazier to the outfield when he's an infielder. Braves. Kuna Freeman, stop batting them 1 and 2, which then means that the likes of Ozzie Albies is batting cleanup, and that is pretty stupid. Now, with Ozuna missing time, they're batting Albies third. It's the perfect time to drop both Freeman and Kuna to lower spots in the lineup. And Andre Anza should not be playing the outfield if you have Heredia and you have, what's his name? They got Almonte, Heredia, Phillip Ervin. They got all these outfielders. They can definitely not have to play him in the outfield. And the Rays. We all been over this. Brandon Lau, if you want to bat him third, that's cool because he's an all-around player, but he's not a cleanup hitter. Nor is Margot a cleanup hitter or number 5 hitter. Meadows batting second's a waste when he's an all-around hitter, but he's also been your DH, so it's kind of silly. And at the same time, Wendell's on a shortstop. Play that young guy you got. Randy Arozarena leading off is okay. It's better than the alternative, but he's a much better player than a leadoff guy. I don't want to see both Kamaku and Michael Walker in the pen. That's just a waste of starting pitching. Don't want to see Brandon Lau in the outfield. He should be everyday second baseman. Brassaro is not a second baseman. Don't waste his time there. Yanni Diaz is a power guy. Should not be batting second. Nor should Troy be batting leadoff. Then you get yourself to the Jays. Simeon should not be leading off. And Teoscar Hernandez is not a cleanup hitter. Grichuk's not a center fielder. Vigil's a waste in right field. Him and Espinal are a waste batting 7th. They should be batting 1, 2, or at the bottom. And Gurriel's a waste at first base when the whole point of him being the outfield is you had no room in the infield. And then I don't want to see them do an opener if they got Ross Stripling and other starting pitchers, especially when their bullpen has 2 starting pitchers in it. That's just stupid. And the Astros, we've been over this. Altuve and Brantley are not 1 or 2 hitters, nor is Correa number 2. And Brantley batting cleanup's a little bit too much. He should be batting third. Rangers, Adolis Garcia, I know he's been killing it, but he's on number 4 or 5 hitter. That's why you have Gallo, David Dahl, Chris Davis. Put him 6th or 7th, see what happens. As Eric Carlef, we've been over this. A catcher's not a shortstop, nor is he a leadoff hitter or number 2 hitter. Kobe Allard, with all the injuries to your rotation and your team, he should be pitching as their starter. And Nick Solak batting second, that should be what they're doing. Tigers, Robbie Grossman, we've been over, it's not a leadoff hitter. Nico Goodrum, Hector Castro, Harold Castro, stop wasting their time with them. Just play Willie Castro everyday second base, everyday Castro at shortstop, and Jonathan Scope at first base. And if you want to move Candelario to first base and you can play Goodrum or Castro at third base, fine, do that. Let the DH be Miguel Cabrera. Stop wasting time with Norris and Fulmer both in the bullpen. One of them should start. And Eric Hanna is a catcher. You should not be wasting time in the outfield when you're already paying Robbie Grossman, Norman Mazzara, and you got all these other young outfielders. It's a waste. The Royals. You got Carlos Santana to bat in the middle lineup. You got Andrew Benintendi to bat second. You didn't get them to go 2 and 3 or even Benintendi cleanup. And you don't have Soler batting 7th when you're wasting time with Carlos Santana at the top of the lineup. Irvin Santana pitching in the bullpen when they don't have enough pitching. And again, if Hunter Dozier's still out with a concussion, Whit Merrifield should not be playing the outfield. They got enough outfield. He should be playing third. Cubs. Why is Bryant batting second still and Contreras leading off? That's not where they belong in the lineup. And Bryant's had an adventure. He's playing right field and first base a lot these past couple of days. And Patrick Wisdom, wow, they called up this quad A guy. He's playing in right field. That's a little bit of a stretch. Cardinals, they usually have the perfect lineup, but I don't want to see Harrison Bader bat this high. I know they've had some injuries, but he should be batting towards the bottom lineup. And Goldsmith's not a number 2 hitter. Diamondbacks, Pavin Smith, we've been over this, not a leadoff hitter, nor he's an outfielder. Marte, I'm glad he's back because he's better suited to play center field than half the guys that they've been doing. But I would rather him second. And Roa, they actually been playing a lot of second base. Just keep him there if you're not going to play Ketel Marte second base. He's not an outfielder. And Reddick, I'm glad he's on the Major League roster, but playing in center field to stretch hasn't done that since the beginning of his career. You have him to replace Cole Calhoun right now. The Rockies, Trevor Story's not a number 2 hitter. Ryan McMahon's not a number 2 hitter, nor is Blackman a cleanup hitter. Keep Blackman third or fifth. McMahon, he's slugging it. Play him every day as much as possible at third base. And if there are injuries at first base, play him at first base. And we went over this. Connor Joe's not an outfielder, stop playing him there. And Garrett Hampson, play him second base because Ryan McMahon's not suited to be second baseman. And then the A's, we've been over this. Can's not a leadoff hitter. Chapman's not a number 2 hitter. Laureano's not a number 3 hitter. Chad Pinder's not a middle of the order hitter. Lowry's not a number 3 hitter. And Seth Brown is a backup. He's not should be 4th. Should be Chapman, Olsen, Can, and Mitch Moreland. It's the heart of the lineup. Angels, Ohtani batting second. With injuries to Mike Trout and they got rid of Pujols, he should be batting in the middle of the lineup, not second. Taylor Ward's a catcher / first baseman. They played him everywhere. He's not an outfielder. Rojas, again, he's an infielder. Play him there. Iglesias leading off is better than Upton leading off, but they're both not leadoff hitters. Juan Lagares can't hit, so he should not be batting cleanup. That's where Upton should be. Don't waste the DH spot on Phil Gosselin when you got so many first basemen on your roster. Ohtani, again, moved over to right field after pitching, which is cool. Iglesias batting 5th. I'd rather him be in the leadoff spot. He's not a power guy. And Taylor Ward, again, stop playing him in center field, especially when you have guys that can do that. I know they've been cycling through outfielders, but that's a better idea. Mookie Betts is leading off, despite the fact that Dodgers have all these injuries of power guys. I like that Chris Taylor batted second or lead off. That's cool. But I want to see Justin Turner or Max Muncy batting second. I know if you play Max Muncy second base and Gavin Lux at shortstop, then Albert Pujols can play first base. But you're playing Muncy out of position. Lux should be batting 1 or 2 at the bottom, not 5th. If you have injuries to rotation, just start David Price. Don't have him pitch out of the bullpen. I do like seeing Gavin Lux bat leadoff. That was cool. Don't want to see Will Smith cleanup. I don't want to see Chris Taylor third. Don't have Austin Barnes play second base when you got enough second basemen. And Matt Beating in right field is stretch. Left field's one thing, but right field is stretch. Giants, Buster Posey's not a number 2 hitter, nor is Brandon Crawford number 3 hitter. Don't want to see Andrew Dickinson third. They should swap with Buster Posey. Austin Slater, we've been over this. Not a center fielder, nor a leadoff hitter. That is just a waste of everybody's time there. Then the Mariners, Mitch Haniger, we've been over this. I'm glad he's not leading off, but he's not number 2 hitter. If you're especially going to put Kyle Lewis 3 or 4 when he's not belonging there, nor J.P. Crawford 5th or 6th, or this 4th-string catcher, because Torrens is injured. I don't know what happened with Murphy. This Goudet guy, he's not a number 5 hitter. And this Campbell guy they called up, he's a first baseman by trade. Do not play him at third base. If you're not going to put Kyle Seager, play Ty France, who's back, or Dylan Moore, your utility player. And this Walton guy, he's also an infielder they called up. I don't want to see him in the outfield, nor Sam Haggard in the outfield. Play them at second base. That's your opportunity there. And Nottingham, he keeps going back and forth between Milwaukee and Seattle. If you're not going to start him at catcher, he's not a first baseman. If you got rid of Marmelos and Evan White's injured, and you're not going to, and you just play Ty France at first base to do this opportunity right now. And then the Padres, we know Profar's not an outfielder, but it's a stretch to play him in center field or Mateo in center field. Cronenworth's not a number 3 hitter, nor is Profar a leadoff hitter because he's proven he's not the world's greatest hitter. That's why he's been on multiple teams. If you got Hosmer and Will Myers and Machado and Tatis, there should be no reason that Cronenworth is batting third. Tommy Pham should not be batting leadoff, and Tommy Pham should not play left field. If you're going to play Profar center field, swap them. Nola, he's your everyday catcher. No need to play him at second base when you have a gluttony of guys between Kim, Cronenworth, and Profar and Mateo to play second base. That is just a waste of time. Dissel Lamet, they've been saying how great he was these past 2 years. Why is he pitching out of the bullpen instead of starting? And then O'Grady, that's a waste. He's a utility guy. He should not be playing unless you have no other choice. Okay, that was Week 8 of the Major League Baseball 2021 season observations. I'm Radar for On the Radar Entertainment Blog. I'll see you guys next time.